Hey everyone, we are out front today and we are about to stain our brand new picket fence behind us.
It's such a fun space. Honestly, it changed the entire look of the front of our house. It feels like even more of a perfect little cottage, which I'm so happy about. And we used ChatGPT to sort of envision what it would look like with all of our plants and a garden in this space. And it's glorious.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about it.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yes.
So there is a purpose to why we are doing this now. Of course, we want the fence stained and done, but Hoselink is actually doing a photo shoot at our house on Sunday.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with Hoselink, they create the beautiful hose reels that we have in our garden, and a lot of other gardeners use them as well. They are really great because they roll the hose right back up for you. And they actually just released a brand new link that is 100 feet long, which I think that would reach almost anywhere in our garden. So super exciting. So we've got to get the fence painted. We've got a bunch of stuff to get planted so that we can have this space beautiful and perfect for Hoselink when they show up.
Yeah, so first things first, we are spraying all of the fence work that we had done. Obviously the fence behind us, like we said, and both the fences in the backyard that got updated so that they match all of the rest of our beautiful black fences that we sprayed, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So we got this sprayer on Amazon. It has like 20,000 reviews or something like that. And it's supposed to be a really great sprayer. It was super, super cheap. Came in perfect in a pinch, and we're excited to use it.
And you can use it with a 20-volt DeWalt battery,
Yep.
which we have 3 of.
Yes.
So we'll link this below in the description if you'd like to check it out for yourselves. But you're going to get to see right here if it works or not.
Yes, and we probably told you guys this a few years ago, but we are using Flood Stain by PPG in ebony. That's what color all of our black fences are, and we have really liked the stain. It's held up over the years, and it resists mildew, and I think it's a really great stain.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's get started.
Let's do it.
It is a brand new day and we have finished the picket fence painting. Brian was out until it got dark and I had to bring a little work light out there, but it looks really, really beautiful. We are now going to tackle the backyard fence. So we have this one here behind the fountain, and then we have this one over here. And we are down to the wire here with planting and painting everything before our little garden party with Hoselink. So we are going to get to going and see what we can get done.
Morning. We were up until probably like 8:30 last night. I think
Well, we didn't go to bed at 8:30.
Well,
we were
of course.
outside painting until 8:30.
So we painted till about 8:30 and it got dark, and I'm glad we stopped because there are a few boards that I'm probably gonna need to touch up because I just couldn't see them.
But it looks pretty good. I mean, you got this whole side done.
Yes, so we're out here bright and early this morning to finish the other side. So I'm gonna turn around, show you the other side that we have to do. So that's our final little spot that we have to do this morning. And I don't think it's gonna take us that long. And then we're gonna get some plants planted. We're gonna get some pots done. And I think it's gonna be a good day.
And today is the party. So we got to get to cracking.
Yes.
Let's go. So while Brian is finishing up painting, I'm going to start planting some stuff. So we've got these 2 containers by our front door that we used to have some spiral topiaries in. Unfortunately, they both got infected with bugs really bad and died. So we haven't really had anything as like a feature in these in a couple of years. So I've got them empty. We're gonna start with some fresh potting soil. And I do have to say, you know, on Instagram and TikTok, I see a lot of people filling the bottom of their containers with like rocks or sticks, and it's really important to fill the entire container with potting soil, especially when you've got vigorous annuals like we plant, because those roots are really going to grow through that soil all season long. And by the end of the season, usually this whole container is just one big root ball. So if there are sticks in there, you know, that can really impede on the performance of your plants. So you want to make sure at the beginning of every spring, empty out that container and fill it all the way up with some good potting soil to give your plants a good start. Okay, so we've got our container filled up with soil. I am leaving quite a bit of a lip because whenever we're planting annuals, I want to make sure that all the root balls are getting covered. So I like to leave a little extra space, and then I'll go back in with some extra dirt at the end. We do already have drip irrigation in this container as well. So this is the 1/4-inch tubing that I've just ran up through the drain hole in the back, and it's connected down the side of the porch into our 1/2-inch tubing. And this zone runs for 30 minutes every day. So we only have 2 emitters in here. We find that the 1/4-inch really spits a lot of water. I think this is supposed to be 0.6 gallons of water per hour, but it feels like a lot, especially for a small container. So we only do 2 emitters. If I notice that the plants are struggling throughout the season, I can definitely pop this little goof plug off and just add another emitter to the end. That won't be a problem. But I like to put the irrigation in here from the beginning, so that way once you're planting, you know, you're not having to fish up through the hole. I've definitely done that before because I've forgotten. But you do also have the option to run it up the back. Here on the front porch, you know, you can't really see that, so that wouldn't be an issue. But if this is out, you know, somewhere where you can kind of see all sides of it, definitely want to make sure you're running it up through the bottom. So before we get started here, I am going to add my slow release fertilizer. I do not measure this. I just shake as much in as I feel like is necessary. And the slow release fertilizer will feed these for the next few weeks without us adding in liquid fertilizer. We definitely will do that, but if we were to go on a trip or kind of miss one of our fertilizings, then this would kind of take over and just keep the plants going. So we are keeping this container simple this year. In the past, you know, we have planted a bunch of different things in here and it just ends up looking messy by the end of the season. So we are keeping this simple with only 3 plants today. So for kind of the back here, I've got a lime thyme coleus, and these, remember, can take sun or shade. So this area here on our porch, it kind of gets, you know, it gets morning sun. And you'll see, I'm just gonna sit this right on top actually because I've got so much of a lip. But this does get morning sun, and this side will get like some afternoon sun. So the coleus will be perfect here. It will really thrive in this spot, and it's probably gonna get really, really big by the end of the season, especially with the consistent water. Next, I'm going in with a plant that is new to us. This is variegated Swedish ivy. And I do not know how this is going to behave. I think we were hoping it would kind of trail, but it looks like it's growing straight up. So maybe this will kind of be like a little competition for the coleus to see who will get bigger. But still, you know, we love variegated foliage in this house. So I'm gonna pop this here, and I think this one is part sun, if I'm not mistaken. No, it says full to part sun. So, I mean, this one will be on the interior, so it will not get as much sun as what I'm gonna plant on the edge, but will still be really pretty, as you can see. I mean, they're already playing together really nicely. And the third plant, now this one is not blooming yet, so you're gonna have to imagine. This is one I've been wanting every single year, and when we go to Creekside, she is sold out of it, but we went early enough this year, and I got some. This is Double Delight Apple Blossom. You can see that really beautiful bloom there. So this will be kind of our focal point, I guess. So this also says full to part sun. So I'm actually gonna plant this on the outside so that it will get a little bit more sun. Let's angle this way. And that's it. So this will fill in really nicely. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but in, you know, a few weeks, the begonia will start blooming. This will continue to grow, and the coleus, I'm sure, will get huge. So I'm gonna grab my soil and my little scoop, and I'm gonna backfill here. Okay. So I've got it pretty good. I'm gonna go in. This is a compost scoop that we sell at Gardens on Green. And I don't know about you guys, but we always use, like at the end, we use like a leftover container or something to scoop the dirt. But I'm very excited to have this. It just feels so fancy gardening like this. Just backfill. All right, so now, take this out of the way. Now I'm gonna take, I've got 2 landscape staples, and I'm just gonna run the drip. Let's do it. And I'm gonna take 1 staple to tank down here, and then 1 here on this side, and that's it. I'm gonna grab the hose and water this in. All right, let's do the other side. All right, there you have it. So I know it looks a little silly that the Swedish ivy is as tall as or will be taller than the coleus, but the coleus will get really, really big. So I'm not as concerned about that. I mean, we've grown the Lime-Time coleus before, and it will be giant by the end of the season. So that's kind of what I say when you plant annuals. You just got to trust everything's going to grow in. Trust the tag, height, width, all that fun stuff, because it is accurate. You just got to trust a little bit. So I'm excited to see these grow in over the summer. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Let's check on Brian a little bit and see how he's progressing. Ooh. How's it going?
What?
How's it going?
Going well.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Wow, you're moving really fast.
Well, I noticed like if I go slow and steady, and have a full battery, it actually makes me move faster, and I can cover more boards from left to right at one time. So a full battery is probably a good tip for using this sprayer.
What's your review on the sprayer now that you've done like a bunch of painting with it?
I definitely like it. I think for the money, like you cannot beat this.
It was like what, $40?
It was $40, and honestly, for spraying fences, you're just trying to get it covered. So good coverage is the key here. And I think, like I said, if you have a full battery and then you make sure that you have a full bucket of paint when you start, it really moves a lot faster, and you're spraying a lot more even. When the battery runs down, it tends to sort of like spray, like splatter a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're not getting good coverage, so you're moving slower. So if you don't have a lot of good DeWalt batteries, I will say we also have the 2060 volt battery.
The dual.
The dual. And that's a lot more powerful. And I noticed when I'm spraying with that, I'm moving like super fast.
That's
and
funny.
It lasts a long time. So if you don't have a lot of DeWalt batteries and DeWalt tools laying around, I would get the corded version of the sprayer. And that way you've got the full coverage and full power the whole time you're using it.
We'll link both of those, the corded and the battery powered, down below. But if you're like us and you use Power Planter and you've got a bunch of DeWalt tools, I mean, the battery powered is really great. So I really can't wait for you to paint my shed, because it does need a fresh coat of paint.
I guess we'll see. I'm gonna get back to it.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to plant one of our favorite shrubs. So we have one right here in the ground. This is Double Play Doozy Spirea, and it is massive this year. And you can see it is just covered. All of these little like red that you see will be hot pink blooms here in probably the next few days. And the reason why I love this is because you can't kill this thing. I cut it almost all the way back to the ground every year, and it shoots up like this and still blooms. I mean, it's just amazing. So we've got 3 more that we're gonna plant throughout the peninsula bed that I'm gonna show you. So we've got one right here that is going to kind of flank the red bud, and you can see it does kind of like mirror this one over here. We're not necessarily trying to make these flower beds twins, but they are gonna be like sisters, siblings, maybe distant cousins. But look at the blooms. This one's blooming. Oh my gosh. It's like literally my favorite thing. And then the new growth comes out with like red, and then the fall color is beautiful as well. It's just a really easy plant. And I think the past couple of years after it's bloomed, I've kind of sheared it back just a little bit, and then it will bloom again. So I really, really love this shrub. So we've got one right here, and then if we walk this way towards the shed, we've got 2 more kind of behind the blue spruce. So right here, and they will get like 4.5 feet tall and wide. And what we're trying to do is, I know it might seem silly to plant this behind the spruce that's gonna get big, but we really wanna save this view right here. So I don't mind kind of like flanking the sides of the shed with big stuff, but here I wanna keep it low so that we can still get that vista through to the shed. There's some little lime hydrangeas back there that are just kind of going insane right now, and I do want to be able to see those as well. And this rose and everything will kind of be pulled up, so we'll have a really nice view to these, and they'll be big and beautiful in no time, and the pink blooms will be really pretty against the Bonnie blue spruce as well. So I'm gonna get to planting. Calling in the big guns. This one's rock hard. All right, we got both of the or all three of the spireas, I should say, in the ground, both spots. Look at that. I mean, it's just, obviously there's nothing else really planted around it right now, but it's gonna be so pretty, especially once it gets as big as this one over here. I'm like, oh my God. And then over here, we got the two in the ground. This one is a little bit close to the viburnum, but there's like a T of drip tubing right here. So it was like, I'm either close to the viburnum or I'm close to the butterfly bush, and I just chose viburnum. I don't know, maybe we'll move it back later on, but regardless, I mean, once those get tall right here with the butterfly bush and the hydrangeas, oh, it's gonna be beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna figure out something else to plant. So if you're wondering where I'm getting all these things from, it's here. This is our plant hoard. I mean, some of this was left over from last season. Some of it we have gotten recently, and it just, I mean, no matter how much I plant, it keeps growing. I think we're gonna go for these hydrangeas from First Editions next. Let me grab those. All right, so the first one that I have here is strawberry sundae. I keep calling it different desserts. I've been calling it strawberry milkshake, strawberry ice cream. It is strawberry sundae, and it gets 3 to 5 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. So, I mean, it's a big one right now. So we're gonna plant this, kind of the spirea, if you can see, is like right behind me. And then this is gonna be a little bit around the curve from that. And then here, a little bit forward, we have a little hottie, which we've had little hotties in our garden for 3-4 years now, and they're really, really cute. They, I know the tag says that it's about, here comes Bailey. Hi, honey. Hello. Hi. I know the tag says that they are generally the same size as the vanilla, see, I'm already messing it up, the strawberry sundae, but we found that they do stay a little bit smaller, so we're gonna put this one kind of on the front, and we'll have some other perennials and stuff in front of it. But I do need to look at my plan, which I'm kind of surprised I haven't talked about yet. So we have been making a plan for the peninsula bed, and I'll flash it up on the screen for you. It is nothing fancy, I assure you. There is not, you know, a special garden planning app that we use or anything. We typically use PowerPoint or Keynote if you have a Mac. And I just find, well, first we create the shape, which, you know, takes a little bit of time. it's kind of like putting infrastructure in your garden. It's not like the fun stuff, but you still have to do it. So we usually create the shape, and then I got really creative on this one and added like mulch and lawn into it. And then I just go online and find pictures of whatever plant I want, and then use the tool in Keynote to remove the background and kind of drop it in. Now, you'll notice the scale is way off, like way off. I have us putting right here in this little spot, I have us putting like 3 Arctic Fire dogwoods around here, and then 3 big Baptisia right here, and then something else in front of it. And Brian is like, yeah, what do you think this is? Like, it is not that big, but it is still helpful to see, you know, okay, do I have all my colors? Do I have red, yellow, blue, and green? Do I have, you know, shrubs and perennials? Do I have different textures like grasses mixed in with the shrubs? So, I mean, we have fun with it, right? Like, it's not, I'm sure that once we start planting, we'll kind of adjust a little bit, but it is at least fun to kind of see everything and lay it out. So that's what we've been working on this spring. So, yeah, let me take a look at my plan and make sure that I've got these hydrangeas in the general area where we want them. And then I'm gonna make sure Brian is okay with the placement, and I'm gonna get these in the ground. Okay, so we've determined that the spirea that I just planted, which, I mean, hey, this is how it goes. I'm gonna pull that forward a little bit, kind of in between these snowflake clumps, and then the hydrangea is gonna go there. We just wanna make sure that both of them have enough room to be their full size, really, and not have to, you know, move them later on or prune a bunch. And we wanna see them both together. That's the most important thing. And then the hydrangea, I kind of pushed along back a little bit. So we're gonna have a garden path that goes like through here. And in front of the hydrangea, I would really like a little clump of alliums. And then on the plan here, you'll see this little hole right here is where the little ornamental ginkgo is. And then right now I have like some ridiculous coleus in front of that. I don't know how this will all turn out, but so I'm gonna pull the spirea out of the ground, kind of move it forward, and then we'll plant the 2 hydrangeas. Also, this is all of our Hoselink stuff back here out in the lawn, getting some sun. So I promise it's not just a bunch of junk. We are getting ready for the party, and hopefully we'll get some photos of the lights on towards the end of the party. So, all right, let's get to planting. Got the hydrangeas in the ground. I did do a little bit of a dead wood pruning on them. There were some sticks that, you know, weren't leafing out all the way to the tip. So just kind of went in and cut those back. And it's really a good rule of thumb for this time of year to just kind of let your hydrangeas go, especially the macrophylla, and then trim them. Of course, the panicle hydrangeas like this, you're supposed to cut them back by 1/3. We didn't do that because they were in their cans. So we kind of missed our chance on that this year, but we're just gonna kind of let them go this year, see what happens, and shape them up next year. But I still think, like, look at this. Just imagine the hydrangea with blooms back there against the spirea. It's gonna be so magical.
All right, guys, I'm all done with the fence, and that sprayer made it so freaking easy. Look, it blends right in with the fence that we had done before. We used the PPG Flood Stain in Ebony, and it really just blended right in so perfectly. And honestly, it's probably got a lot to do with the sprayer because it coated so evenly. So we're really happy with it. We're gonna stay on the other side this week. Obviously, we've got a lot of prep work to do today for the party. So I'm gonna join Tyler and get some things planted.
Okay, so I think next on the planting plan for today is we have some Midnight Masquerade penstemon. And if you look on the plan, they're kind of like in a little drift behind a drift of White Wands Veronica, and then they kind of open up to a grouping of coneflowers as a layer in between. So we have 3 that are in their can still, and we have 3 in the ground. And I said that I wasn't gonna dig those up today, but I really want to see all of those together. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by digging the 6 holes, and then I will plant the ones that are in the can, and then I'm gonna dig up the ones that are in the cottage bed, because it will just be so much more impactful, especially for the party, if they're in a big clump. And it is gonna look kind of weird because they're gonna go, so they will be essentially like right here, and then they will go back this way. And then we'll get the coneflowers hopefully in a couple weeks. We have some things coming from Walter's Gardens, which is always exciting. So I think I'm gonna start by digging the holes, and then we'll see how this goes. So Brian ended up coming along and helping me with these holes because the dirt was just so hard in some places, and then other places it was like super sandy. No idea what's going on with our land here, but isn't this so pretty? And now that these are in full sun, they're gonna start darkening up and get that really deep red color, which is gonna be really pretty against the White Wands Veronica right here. And so I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna do something else. This is like a marathon of planting today, but we want the garden to look super pretty for the Hoselink party. So I think next I've got some Midnight Sun Weigela that stay on the small side. I think they only get 18 inches by 18 inches, which is perfect for a little border. And I'm gonna be planting them right behind the shed. So right back here, we've got a huge clump of black-eyed Susans. We've got a Winecraft Gold smoke bush. There is a nightlight sedum. I think there's 3 of those in there. The 3rd one is getting swallowed up by the black-eyed Susans now. We did have some chartreuse on the loose nepeta in here, but it just did not come back that great for us. So TBD on if that's gonna stay here or not. But along the border here, after we pass the sedum, I think I'm gonna pop the midnight sun weigela right here. And we don't have anything back here that is blooming pink. So I think this is gonna be really nice. And the foliage you'll see is kind of, I mean, it makes sense why it's called midnight sun, because it's kind of dark, it's kind of light. It's very interesting. So let me go grab those and pop them right here. How freaking cute is that? Just like a little hedge. So these will bloom pink, and I think they're reblooming, and they have yet to bloom this season. So maybe since they're in the ground now, we'll get some blooms out of them. Onward to the next thing. Okay, we have planted, we have cleaned, Brian was pressure washing, and I think we're ready. So we are just waiting for Annie from Hoselink to get here for the final details, but our part is done. We planted a lot of stuff this morning. Brian got the fence all painted, and it's looking really nice.
It feels like I conquered the world today, which is fun because ahead of a party, it's always nice just to make everything beautiful, and the grass is mowed and the pillows are perfect, and I think it's gonna be a really great evening.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this video up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing us running around like crazy people trying to get ready, and we will see you next time.
Bye guys.